First, I must find a power switch.
Okay, what is going on, guys? It's Zigza here, and today I'm going to be doing a zombie theory video. This video is basically going to be to do with the new map that is known to be the Giant, that is coming as a specialist thing like Nuketown 2025 did, the zombie map anyway, to Black Ops 2. This is coming to Black Ops 3 as a map. A lot of people will already know this because you might watch some of the video and stuff. But today I'm going to be talking about some of the theories because recently, during Comic-Con, there was a trailer released to people at Comic-Con. This was not meant to be a public trailer, but luckily for us, someone recorded it. And if the link is still there, because Activision keep on copyright flagging it and taking it down and stuff like that. If the video is still up on the internet, I will try and link it in the description of this video for you guys to be able to watch it. This is a live thing, by the way, just to let you know, so I might fuck up a bit with a few cuts, but who really cares about that? But I'm going to be talking about some of the theories, but if you have, just watch the trailer if it's down in the description, but just in case it isn't, I'll also be describing what happened in the trailer right now for you.
You live the future life, but
in the trailer, it shows the three characters, the old characters, Nikolai, Dempsey, and Takio, coming into the, what looks like Doris. It looks like this sort of themed kind of location, but it's not the same as this. It shows them walking into the room, and then inside the room, they come across the Richtofen that is in this one, the older Richtofen, that is in the Black Ops 1 zombies and World at War zombies. The important thing about this
I am ready to unleash
is the whole basis of the theory. This is the whole thing that I'm going to change the entire theories of zombies. I'm not going to use any other theories linked to this. I'm going to be using all my own theory. None of it can be really proven, but I reckon it will be proven during the course of Black Ops 3 and other zombie maps. So, important things for this theory to work. You need to understand different types of time travel and different things that come along with it. So I'm just going to explain these theories quickly. So there's different theories to time travel, many things because no one's really done it yet. No one's done it, so no one really knows how it works. But there's things like in Doctor Who saying that if two of the same person meet in a timeline, the timeline gets ripped in space and creates a problem like that. This is the Doctor Who theory. If you watch Doctor Who, you will know this. I don't watch Doctor Who anymore, but I used to, and I know this is a very strong theory and a very key thing in the timeline. To explain, this is basically what the directors use to explain why the Doctor can't go to loads of different places in time. But there's another theory that if you've watched a new Terminator, this is another theory that's used. I don't know the name of the theory, I cannot remember it, but I know it's a very logical theory and actually does make sense. So basically what happens is, when someone time travels, they go to a different timeline. So there's going to be different sets of timelines next to each other, sort of like dimensions, but these timelines are all different and kind of unrelated, but they are related at the same time. It's pretty confusing, but hey ho, that's how it goes. But effectively, this is important because in the trailer, if you have watched it, hopefully it's in the description, you would have seen that the characters are begging Richtofen not to open a door because they know something very bad and very evil is on the other side of the door. Richtofen opens the door, exposes himself coming out, but the younger version of himself. There's three younger versions of the characters, but Richtofan's the only older one at the beginning of the trailer. This is quite suspicious to me, and I thought something was going to happen, including the younger character. But I did not expect for the younger character to come out wielding a gun and shooting the older one even in the head as he holds his hammer. My theory for this is that, actually I'm going to use someone else's theory here quickly, but there's a theory in zombies that all that's happened up to Black Ops 2, the end of Origins, is called Phase 1 zombies. I do not believe that this theory is correct, but this is how it's going to go for me. Basically, all of World at War to Black Ops 2 zombies is the set first timeline. The set first timeline is pretty interesting, but there's a key thing for this. The World at War zombies, the World at War maps, so, I don't know, the original Doris and stuff, this is all important because I think this is the beginning of all the timelines. This is where everything happens, and this is the starting point that creates many different timelines around it. This is because this is when teleportation first arose, and all the other timelines can be created from the first point it's used. So the important thing with this is everyone needs to have a quick background of the characters to understand this timeline properly. So for all the theories I have, you need to know how the characters came about and the meanings of them just so you understand. So first you need to start with Richtofen, the most important character of them all and the man that's in charge of everything pretty much.
Dempsey's head. Empty.
Sorry about that, guys, it's just hard to do this live.
Power switch.
Currently I can't be doing this like fucking live. I'm doing this live because my new PC is still being set up and stuff and I can't really edit and shit, so I have to do some live take on Elgato. But anyway, as I was saying, Richtofen is a German torturer who was in World War 1, World War 2, that kind of thing, but like basically he's a sociopath, everyone knows this, he's a pretty much fucking nutcase. you don't know that, well, unlucky, you do now. You should probably learn some more shit about zombies if you don't know this. But the World at War accounts of Richthofen show quite an important and clear thing. Basically, it shows that he was originally a back alley plastic surgeon. This is probably means people that do crimes and stuff and need to change their identity. This is the type of person he helped. But by doing this, he also brainwashed and all these kind of things. And he basically created an army of people that did whatever he wanted for him and laughed at all his bad jokes and all this shit. They basically just like a group of people that suck him off all day. But then once the Nazi power got overthrown during the war and all this stuff, he lost all influence and power. And because of this, like obviously, he joined the army because he needed more power. He was in a position where he could satisfy his sociopath ways, and he wished to see people die slowly and painfully in death. This is perfect for the army for him because he became a torturer in the army and extracting information and things like this. Whilst in the army, he became a professor for the 935, all this kind of stuff, you know, professors and like a researcher in the 935, all this kind of stuff, creating many different things and like researching the whole zombies and all this kind of stuff. In this, he met Dr. Maxis, became the assistant Maxis, all this kind of stuff, not assistant, but like co-worker. And him and Maxis started working on the teleporters together, trying to do the zombie control, all that kind of stuff, but it always went wrong and ended up in them having to kill the zombie. But what people don't know is the teleporters kept on failing during this time, and Richthofen, as a side experiment on his own, created the super soldiers. He created 3 super soldiers originally. They were Nikolai, Takio, and an unknown Mexican man. The unknown Mexican man died during experimentation, and unfortunately, this is just bad luck, I guess, for Richthofen. But anyway, this is where Dempsey comes in because during Richthofen's research, he had a group of Americans come and see what he was doing there, as in like come check him out. Their brainwashes included Dempsey, and then Dempsey was turned into one of the super soldiers. See, this is a very important part of the theory because this links all the timelines with another thing. See, at the end of Origins cutscene, everyone, like, a lot of people were disappointed with it. I personally was disappointed with it. I thought it was a pretty shitty way of getting out the story. But it's actually, now that I think about it, a very good thing that they've done there. Basically, it shows how that it's just Richthofen and Samantha as kids playing in Max's like house, because Max is her father, Richthofen's her friend, all this kind of stuff, playing in her house. See, this is where important things need to come out. This is where important things need to start. World at War is the beginning of the timeline. You need to remember this. It's World at War, then everything onwards. So my thing is, World at War is its own timeline, and it's the basis where all the other timelines are created around it. So this is made like a little, don't know, a little ripple in time, maybe it's like caused all the things to split apart. But because of this, we now have many different timelines created. So this is where Phase 1 zombies theory comes in. Basically, everything that happened up until this point is called Phase 1. Everything that happens is now what after the childhood play game. This is not actually true in my opinion. This is where the importance of the older Richthofen shooting the younger Richthofen comes in. Effectively, the 3 super soldiers know the evil of them because the 3 super soldiers are an idea that Richthofen's had since he was a young child, because they were his 3 heroes in his game that he played with Samantha, including himself. They were the 3 people he looked up to, as it were. People that he idolised. His own 3 heroes that he made. Pretty sociopath there, but, you know, it's Richthofen, what do you expect. But, anyway, seeing how the 3 super soldiers are his own creation, when they go and with him, because they will follow him, because he's like their master, their creator, they're trying to protect him, but they know the younger Richthofen is far more evil than the older one. This is because the older one was sent himself to Moon when Dr. Maxis pretty much pissed him off and all this kind of shit. If you don't know how this happened, basically, Richthofen and Maxis created the Wonder Weapons as a way for Germany to get an advantage of the war. They both made their own ones. Richthofen made the Monkey Bomb and I think the Wonder Waffle. That's a theory. And it's believed that Maxis created the Ray Gun, but not proven as such.
Are ready to embrace me.
Fuck, I went down again. But basically it's believed that Maxis created the ray gun. And then it also said that Maxis took all the credit and fame because he was head of the research company, all this kind of stuff. He took all the credit and fame for everything that they did, that Richthofen did as well. This basically just pissed Richthofen off, because to be honest it would piss me off as well, so I don't really blame him for it. But this then gives Richthofen the urge to get a different research. They start creating teleporters. They teleported a walnut. Maxis completely disregards their work. They said a walnut is too small, too insignificant, it has no benefit to their research, doesn't help them at all. But if you guys now know it. If you can teleport something that small, you can pretty much just figure out that anything glitchy wise and then make yourself so you can teleport anything. And this is pretty much what Richtofen's researchers did. They then used the portal and teleported themselves to the moon where the ancient alien artifact is that I do not remember the name of right now that's on the moon. This drove Richtofen crazy, made him even bigger sociopath, pretty much infected his brain, made him go a bit of a nutter, to be honest with you. Like, you can tell he's a bit fucking mental if you play with him. But this is important because then Maxis did not know that he created a teleport. He just thought Richtofen disappeared off the face of the earth. He's fucked off somewhere. And because of this, Maxis continues his own experimentation. He buys a young Samantha, who is his daughter, a dog, so that he can use it as a test subject, so he can teleport it around as like a practice, as it were. And Samantha did not know this is the reason he got the dog. She thought, oh, my dad actually being nice for once and got me something cool. And basically, once the dog was originally teleported, this created the first Hellhound. The Hellhound then ran towards and tried to kill Samantha and Maxis because she walked into the room and saw what was happened to her dog, so she obviously knew then what was happening. But basically, they stumbled into the teleporter. Maxis like pulling Samantha like backwards, like trying to protect her. But basically, they got chucked into the teleporter. Richtofen had control of the portals because he had control of the artifact from the moon. Attempted to kill kill Maxis and teleport Samantha to the moon. Samantha being teleported to the moon is the theory that gave her the original, basically like, we gotta go through this step at a time. This basically is what people thought when Black Swan was out, gave Samantha control of all the zombies and the teddy bears and such. And people thought Maxis was gone. But then Maxis, he's shown to escape and survive somehow, no one really knows how at the minute. But he's basically now in a rivalry of Richtofen and all this kind of stuff. But during Moon, Maxis returns, goes like to Samantha, tries to apologise to her, but she basically goes crazy, forcing Richtofen to run because she now has control of all the zombies and her dogs. And basically this has caused Richtofen to run away. The Richtofen is now in a very unstable mental state. This is important because I believe that the older Richtofen basically discovers his younger self, as in like teleports him through time, in the same timeline, but this means the younger one now has all the memories of the older one, all the experience, all this kind of stuff, knows everything like that. But basically it's a younger body, more strength, all this stuff. But also the older Richtofen, pretty much, I think the older Richtofen diagnosed himself with something, there's like many different things, but maybe a mental disorder or a brain disorder that his younger self didn't have, maybe exposure to radiation or something like this, has caused himself to get either a cancer or, forgot the name of it now. The thing that means you just lose all your memory, I forgot what it is. Oh, fuck, I'm an idiot. Insta-kill! But basically the thing they use in Planet, the thing he's experimenting on Planet shit. Forgot what it's called. But basically it's a mental disorder which means you forget everything from your younger days and all that stuff. But I think Richtofen has either developed this or he's developed something similar, so his older body is inadequate and cannot be used. But I think that Richtofen has his own theory about the timelines, which means that once him and his older and his younger self come into contact with each other, that they will remember each other. This is why I think the younger Richtofen not only takes off his hat in like admiration for himself finding his younger person, but also because he knows he needs to die and does so in a way that he finds respectful to himself.
Victory!
But anyway, back onto the more things. The map, the Giant, which they're bringing out as a part of an extra map, like they do with New 5, like I've already said. I believe that this isn't going to be an exact copy of Darius. I do not think this is important at all. I think this is going to be an add-on, maybe the map to begin with, but with more parts added to it, because look, it's a whole factory. There's going to be hundreds of things. I think they're going to make it light green run, a bit bigger, much bigger, the whole factory, and basically explaining how the characters work their way through and trying to, like, you know, save the older Richtofen from being a fucking douchebag and killing himself. But anyway, now to explain why the super soldiers, or Nikolai, Takeo, and Dempsey, are so afraid of the younger Richtofen. This is because the new timeline has been linked to these teleports there. Obviously, the younger Richtofen, as in the childlike Richtofen who had created the super soldiers originally, he is not that bad. He's just a child thinking it's a game. But with the younger Richtofen, who I don't know is maybe early 20s, that is shown to come out the teleporter in the trailer, he's still in the times when the Richtofen was not mentally unstable, but had mentally still hated, like, not hated, but he hated people to be happy and all this kind of stuff, and loved torture and all this stuff. And the reason they're so scared of the younger one is because the younger one is the one that created them. He's the one that tortured them, mentally like ripped apart their brains and stuff so that he can complete control of them. He also, during experiments, is the reason that Nikolai's so addicted to vodka. Take always says like Japanese things and this kind of stuff. This is because Richtofen basically just fucked around with their heads loads and made them pretty nutty, as in you just heard there. Like,
all will fall.
so him saying things like that, as you just heard in game chat, is something that because Richtofen fucked up their heads loads and like pretty much toyed their whole lifestyle, I guess. He's the one that captured them, tortured them, did everything to them. This is the reason they're so scared of him. I don't think this is too important, but another thing is the younger Richtofen is still going to be pretty pissed at Maxis. Like, the younger Richtofen now remembers everything and won't trust the original Maxis. Also, because this is they've teleported back in time to when Richtofen was younger, I believe, that's just another theory of mine, because the timelines now made loads of different timelines and stuff. I believe that the younger Richtofen now is going to use this as a way to try and gain more power in the war, and maybe now that he knows the zombies he can't control them, he's just going to unleash them on anyone anyway, because he still wants to control them, but he knows he can't, but subconsciously that would mean he's not good enough to control something, so that means he's not good enough, which means he's basically going to be pissed with himself, so he's going to now think that he has control of them even though he hasn't, just because then he can say that he had control of them. It's pretty much just something when someone doesn't want to admit they can't do something. This is what the younger Richtofen is doing. He now knows it's impossible for him to do it because his older self couldn't do it no matter what. But he's just going to release them as in saying, yeah, fuck you guys, if I can't do it, no one can. The world can go die. So anyway, this is just a little base part of the series. I know it's not completely filled, but this is going to be a pretty long video if I try and fill the whole thing. If you want me to do a series where I kind of fill out the entirety of this kind of theory, I guess, as it were, and like explain to you guys how any new information that comes out, I'll try and link it to this. I'm not going to be using Sin. I'm not going to have anything to do with like the big Sin map. That's nothing to do with the fucking main story and zombies, because I don't know yet if they're linked to Maxis or Richtofen. I have no clue. But I think the Magician is going to be a very key part. If you watch the trailer, you'll know that he's the one talking in the background. He's the one that does everything. I think he's going to be the key part of that. But a quick notice before the end of this video: if you don't think this video makes sense, just look at it like this. There's many different timelines. This explains why maps like Green Run and stuff can't be linked to each other. Is that all the timelines are actually different, and different things happen in all the timelines because they keep on moving between them because of the overuse of the Wonder Waffle, which caused the teleport to not only move them location but move them timeline. This has basically made the world unstable and caused them to have different fluxes of time, which means Maxis in some timelines are going to be winning and Richtofen in others are going to be winning. This is why I think you can choose who you support whilst doing the Easter eggs, Richtofen or Maxis, because they're different timelines that are just basically coincided. Anyway guys, if you did enjoy this video, please like and comment. It's been your boy Zigza. Have a good day.
He's worse than your bite.